Hi, I'm Sharon Blevins, and I'm here to tell you my ancestry story. About 10 years ago, I was going through life after having a great career. I had just finished my doctorate a few years before that. I was a school psychologist, and I took care of my mother in my home. We were extremely close because I'd lost my father when I was a young teenager. And from that time on, I was really the caretaker in many ways for my mom. She and I had been through so much together. She helped me through my divorce that year. And then by the end of that year, her health grew more and more serious, and she died in my arms one evening. So that shattered my life quite a bit. But I was able to get through that with my older brother. My brother Larry, he was a special person. He and I were very close. We had very similar mannerisms. We're both kind of quiet people for the most part. And he is exceptionally generous and kind and very intelligent. He went through a career in technology, and he was able to teach lots of people in nationwide and in abroad locations about how to repair CAT scanners and lots of other types of medical instruments. So he was pretty well known and pretty important in what he did. And he was so gentle and kind to his wife. And I was very proud of him. Growing up, he was the person that I looked up to the most and looked forward to the years that we would spend together. It wasn't quite a year after I lost my mother when Larry had he had gone into the hospital, and he coded one day while they were doing some tests on him, and he had blood clots in his heart. After 45 minutes of coding, he was in a vegetative state. I rushed to the hospital, which was an 8-hour drive for me, and stayed by his side until 2 days later when his heart began to fail again. They did everything they could. I watched as they tried. Then I had to make the call for them to back away and allow us to just hold him. His wife and I held him, and we lost him that night. And with that were some of the hopes and dreams I'd had for the future to spend with my brother, the one I love so much. And of course, with him died some of the hope I had of ever finding his daughter. I believed that she might be his daughter because he married a woman named Teresa, and when he was 18 years old, and he moved to California, and he lived there for a couple of years while he was in the Air Force. And when Teresa had Shannon, I was overjoyed. I was an aunt for the first time, and I was pretty excited about that. But then she left the area with Shannon, and we didn't know what happened to her for many years. And I know that Larry was able to locate them at some point, but he wasn't able to gain custody or get anywhere with that bond that should have been between a father and daughter at that point. What happened, I'm not clear about, but he told me that Shannon was adopted and that he was no longer able to spend any energy looking for her or interested in her because she was most likely not his daughter. He explained to me that he wasn't able to have children with this wife that he married later, and he believed with all his heart that he was most likely not her father because he believed his friend looked very much like her, and that explained the similarity between Larry and the pictures I saw of his daughter. So, along with all of that loss, I didn't have any family, no parents. My brother was gone, and I spent all my time with my husband's family, but that ache lingered in my heart. I really wanted real family sometimes. You know, what blood seems to do for a person is pretty unexplanatory. So there were times when I would really hurt about that, missing those people and wondering about things like that. So I didn't believe I would ever be able to find out from that point on. Then one day, I was on vacation about 2.5 years ago, and I found a little spot in my phone that there were messages in Messenger from Facebook. So I didn't know about those, how people who aren't your friends can still send you messages. Once I opened that up, I was absolutely shocked because it was Shannon. She had found me after all those years. Unfortunately, her father was already gone, and here she was searching everywhere to find a family member. And I responded immediately, still a little on guard because I wasn't sure. Those thoughts were lingering in the back of my mind about what Larry had said. He didn't think she was his daughter. Otherwise, surely he would have looked for her. He wanted children so badly, and he never was able to have them. So it just was a mystery to me. And I talked with Shannon, and I was shocked at how similar they were. Larry and Shannon have the same career. She's in technology. She understands computers like he did. They even love the same types of things, odd things like, you know, the stars and Star Wars and all those different things. It's pretty awesome what they had in common. And he was a photographer on the side, and so is she. Really unexplanatory. Plus, there were some features about her that certainly looked like him and me, maybe too. Her personality, when I met her, was fascinatingly similar to me, my mom. That quiet spirit was still there. And I got so excited, hoping that there was a chance. She was really my niece. And then during this time, we were trying to figure this out. She looked into her baby book that her mom had left behind, and her mom had died 14 years earlier. And she found a spot in the family tree in her baby book where the father is marked out. There is no father listed. And then we got really concerned that maybe we were barking up the wrong tree. Maybe something wasn't quite there that we thought was there. So we were at a loss, but then we both decided that we would look into it for sure with Ancestry. Ancestry made all the difference. We got our kits on the same day, we took our test on the same day, and we sent it in, and we waited. And it didn't take as long as I expected. A couple weeks and a half, and we finally got an update that said it was ready. I did. And when I found online what looked to be a couple of cousins, but there was nothing there until Shannon got her results the next day. And she called me up. We both couldn't talk and finally sputtered out that she was really my niece. And it was a 51% shared DNA. We were ecstatic. We found each other, and we knew for sure that we were related. We were blood. And from that moment on, we've been very close in learning about each other and growing together and loving life with the new family ties that kind of go beyond the grave. Every time I look in her eyes, she looks just like him. She really does. Her eyes. She's so similar. This man right here that I love so dearly, I could still see him now, thanks to Ancestry.